to Play and Trade Guitars. I'm John, that's Zach behind the camera, and this is Play and Trade Guitars, where we play it and trade it. Today I'm going to walk you through a deep dive of the Gibson Les Paul Standard 60s. Yes, the standard of standards, this one in bourbon burst. I'm going to take it apart, talk full specs on the bench before I plug it in and play it. But at the top, if you're in the market for this guitar or any other gear, click to buy gear using our link because you do support our channel. Also, sign up for our newest giveaway. We're giving away a Gibson Les Paul Deluxe Gold Top. It's a gorgeous guitar, and there's tons of new ways to get bonus entries to win. Also, check out our new premium channel memberships. Thanks to all of you who have already signed up. And there's a lot of exciting things happening on Play and Trade Guitars, so thank you. So with a price tag of $29.99 USD, there are some top shelf appointments on the Les Paul Standard, as you would expect at this price tag. And when you've heard the moniker "only a Gibson is good enough," they really, I think, have been doing some of the best guitars that we've seen in years coming out of Gibson. And they've really kind of gone back to basics to make a Les Paul what you expect the Les Paul to be. Things like a non-weight relieved mahogany body, beautiful maple cap on this one, perfect binding, frets that are plecked. That's a modern appointment, which really makes the playability and intonation spot on. They have a computer program that runs a precision plecking machine down these, and if you haven't seen our factory tour, you can actually see that in action. It's really cool. And then these 61 Burstbuckers are some of my favorites. You'll see how those sound. And let's head over to the bench and pull it apart so we can talk full specs and take a look under the hood. Beautiful mother of pearl Gibson inlay, screened Les Paul model, standard on the truss rod cover. On the 60s model, you'll have the Grover kidney beans instead of the Kluson style Gibson Deluxe that you'd find on the 50s. Mahogany neck, beautiful nitro finish, slim taper neck here. Beautiful piece of mahogany for the body as well, non-weight relieved body. Nice flame on this maple top. Beautiful character to the bourbon burst. Standard 1.68 inch nut. Slim taper reads 0.81 inches at the first, up to 0.90 inches at the 12th. Body thickness comes in at 2 inches even. And we'll go ahead and flip over these Burstbuckers. These are going to be the lead 61 in bridge position and the rhythm 61 in neck position. Short neck tenon on this guitar, and from this angle you can get a look at that maple cap on the mahogany body as well. Flipping on the multimeter, lead 61 reads 7.6 or 7.6 in neck and 3.8 combined. So even readings across both. All right, lifting up the control cavity cover, we can take a look at the hand wiring under the hood here. These are 500K Gibson pots. Everything's nicely hand wired, and a nice upgrade with these orange drop capacitors as well. So as most people know, a Les Paul headstock is vulnerable to breaking. Taking a look at the strap buttons, these are classy looking strap buttons, but I do want to show you one accessory I just put on my own Les Paul, and those are these Shaler strap locks. So actually, they just screw in these new pins, and then you have these strap attachments that just drop in. And I mean, the strap's not going anywhere with your Les Paul. So that's probably one accessory upgrade that you want to look into, especially if you're playing on stage. All right, let's get a weight on this puppy. Ooh, 10 pounds, 7 ounces. So we're talking about 10.4 pounds, we'll call it. On the heavier side for sure. Non-weight relieved body. You said you wanted that, they gave it to you. 10.5 pounds almost. And as I get the initial kind of ring coming out of this guitar, I can tell that this is a good one. I always love when you just know you got a good one. You can feel the resonance of the whole guitar, especially just down in your, right in the pocket of your hand. It just shakes your whole hand, and I love that. Perfect factory setup out of the box. I have absolutely no complaints whatsoever with the construction. I really do believe that Gibson has been making some of their finest guitars as of late. The company has gone through a lot of iterations, and I think the current team at Gibson is knocking it out of the park. So at this point, if you're in the market for this guitar or any other gear, remember to buy using our link. It really does help us out, so thank you. And now comes the best part. We get to plug this in. I'll show you clean tones, we'll dirty it up, and then we'll let it sing behind a track. And drop a comment as we go. Also remember to stay tuned, because at the very end, if you hang with me, I'll give you a final score and my honest feedback on playing this beautiful Standard 60s. So let's get to work. Paul Standard 60s from Gibson. We took it apart, we played it, and I'll tell you what, I love these guitars. Les Pauls are just monsters, and there's something about the perfect marriage of a traditional Les Paul design with all the modern construction methods that gives you kind of the best of both worlds. I'm talking things like the plecked frets, which feel fantastic, the traditional aspects like the non-weight relief body. I mean, this is nearly a 10.5-pound guitar, but it just feels like a rock machine around your shoulders. Nitro finish is always a class act. I really like the 61 Burstbuckers. They're probably my absolute favorite Burstbuckers that Gibson makes, and they sound really, really good. Everything construction-wise on this guitar out of the box and everything setup-wise out of the box was perfect. So you've stuck with me to the end. I'll give you my final score, but first I'll remind you that if you're in the market for this guitar or any gear, click to buy using our link. And also register your purchases and your premium channel memberships. You can sign up at the studio, standard, or custom shop levels, and you get major bonus entries in our Les Paul Deluxe giveaway. So make sure you check out all those links in the description, and when you buy gear, remember Play and Trade Guitars, remember to use our link because you really do support us, so thank you. All right, you've hung with me to the end, so I'll give you the final score. I base my scores based on 3 things: overall playability, overall sound, and overall value. And I'll tell you that, to me, the playability is nearly a 10 on this, with one exception, and that is the weight. This particular one, and they do range, this one at 10.4, 10.5 pounds, it's heavy. I've become more and more of a fan of the slim taper. I prefer really the 50 style neck. However, this one is spot on, perfect, and feels like a dream to play. It's just a fantastic guitar. Next, we move on to sound. I'm knocked out by the sound of this guitar. I love the 61 Burstbuckers. I'll give it well north of a 9 out of 10 in terms of overall sound. And then comes value, and let's talk about a little bit of the elephant in the room, and that is that prices on everything in the world have gone up, right? And Gibson is no exception. They just raised the prices on the Standard again to $29.99. Because they've raised the prices, we are right to expect near perfection from them. And I'll tell you what, I was really stunned by how perfect this guitar was out of the box. If there's anywhere to pull a few points from, it's probably value, just because, let's face it, it's expensive. There are other guitars out there to check out. In fact, you can check out the Faded series. You can get a Les Paul Standard 60s with a satin nitro finish for like $24.99, $500 less. My overall score on this guitar across all categories, I'm gonna give this guitar a 9.1. I would absolutely recommend that if you want a vintage-inspired traditional Les Paul Standard 60s, Gibson is knocking it out of the park right now, and I'm very impressed with this guitar. Thanks for watching this review. I would love to hear from you. Whether this is your first Les Paul that you're shopping for or you have a whole collection of them, let me know what you think of this Les Paul Standard 60s. Drop a comment, and remember, if you're in the market for gear, buy using our link. Check out one of these video links, watch another demo across our channel, watch our Gibson factory tour, and remember to be in it to win it with our giveaway for that Les Paul Deluxe Gold Top, which is beautiful. We'll see you on the next video. Thanks for hanging out. I'm John, that's Zach, and this is Play and Trade Guitars.